Really good podcasts are compelling stories.
So I'm Irish, so obviously we're number one in the world at the moment. So.
But for me, if you took that one hit, I don't think I could ever do it again. And they're like, sometimes you take 6 months or years of not getting a laugh.
It's exploded, like any kind of fake news is exploded with the internet, the introduction of the internet.
Hiya, welcome to Easy English. So today, we wanted to ask the people of Brighton about their favourite podcasts because we have a special announcement to make. We are starting a podcast. But more on that later. Let's get on with this week's episode of what podcast the people of Brighton listen to. Here we go. What is your favourite podcast?
The Wittering Whitehalls, so it's Jack Whitehall's parents, and it's like an agony aunt kind of show where they're just random members of the public ask them questions and they give advice.
What podcast would you recommend to people?
So I've just been listening to Off the Ball, which is an Irish sporting podcast.
Fly on the Wall,
And who's that
which is
by?
David Spade, and you'll have to forgive me. It's Dana Carvey who played Garth in the Wayne's films.
Becoming Storm, which is about fake news. It's quite interesting as it came out just after the Trump administration.
What is a good podcast you can recommend?
I would recommend The Dropout,
Okay.
and it's called something like The Theranos Story or something. And it's about Elizabeth Holmes, who was an American student. She was at Harvard, and she dropped out of Harvard to start this very excellent, supposedly excellent company, testing people's blood and telling them whether they had cancer and all kinds of other things. And she got a lot of money from all kinds of people, very high up in the American government. And it was all a great big, was it a con? I'm not sure it was a con. I think she believed it. But it didn't work, basically. So you tested all their blood and you couldn't tell anything from it.
For people who might not know, who is Jack Whitehall?
He's a comedian. I think he's about my age, he's about 30-something, I think.
Right.
So, yeah.
And he made a documentary series where he took his father kind of on a round the world tour, right?
Yeah.
And so does this have anything to do with that programme at all?
It doesn't, no. But I did like that programme, I thought it was really good. But yeah, I do find his dad amusing as well, so that's why I started listening to it.
We just beat New Zealand in New Zealand, which is the first time in history we've won that in
really?
New Zealand. Yeah.
So you're a happy guy right now.
So at the moment, rugby is looking good in Ireland.
No wonder you were going so fast, just on pure joy.
I'm enjoying it.
You look at the introduction of the printing press. The printing press, when that first came out, there was a book that came out about witches. And that went massive. And it was the second biggest sort of published book, apart from the Bible.
About witches?
It was just this guy, I can't remember the guy's name, wasn't it, but he decided that he came up with these ideas that witches, how to burn them and how to get rid of them and how to spot a witch. And it was I think it's like 15th, 16th century. It was this massive book. And then the danger of that was obviously because you had all the witch hunts after that, all these people burning witches.
Got this press, this
so
release.
this guy who released this book,
yeah,
which was obviously he was a bit barking. And these people thought it was the gospel.
Why do you like this podcast in particular?
I think it's a brilliant, like really good podcasts are compelling stories about human frailty and human sort of foibles, I suppose. And this is, I think, a really fantastic one, particularly because it won't surprise anybody to know that she's a very young, very attractive woman, and her company is funded and run largely by very old, very unattractive, very rich men.
So in case you didn't get a little hint at the beginning, we're starting a podcast. Woo!
Finally! We know some people have been waiting for this and you wrote us messages about it. And we have delayed it a bit, but we're here now. We started the podcast. Actually, episode 1 is now on your favorite podcast app.
It's out now.
It's out now, right now.
Whether you're an English learner or just want to get to know myself and Easy a bit better, then this podcast is for you. We'll talk about all things British, British life, British culture, and all things in between.
And we don't only produce now podcasts, we also created a very special perk for our podcast. We now have a podcast membership with 2 perks. One is for English learners. You can get an interactive transcript. So you basically read the transcript of the episode and you can directly translate it into many languages and see what we are talking about, learn with it, learn some British English, some slang maybe from you probably. And the second perk is for everyone who is interested in more talking of us, basically. You will get there the after show, so the episode will be longer than on the podcast apps. We will talk before and after about a bit more stuff, maybe a bit more personal things. And yeah, if you want to hear the full episode, become a member.
There was one about Bill Clinton that said that he'd murdered one of his cabinet, whatever the equivalent is in the States.
About this as well, yeah.
He got rid of this guy. He got rid of him.
And it's with his father and mother.
Yes.
And his father's really funny, I find.
Yes.
But because he's kind of dry.
Yeah.
And what's his mother like in terms of?
Yeah, she's amusing as well. Probably not as amusing as Michael, but yeah, she's also quite amusing as well. So,
Lots of what do they call it? Witticisms.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, my mum likes to say she's a bit like Camilla. I think she does look a little bit like Camilla.
The whole idea of rugby was that it was like for people of different shapes, sizes, you know what I mean, body, physique, kind of, that each position on the team required specific skills and a specific body shape. So it was considered a very inclusive game. And I think that's one of the joys, that you can have scrum halves who are like kind of 5'2" and 12 stone, and then you can have front row who might be 6'6" and 20 stone. So it's quite inclusive and diverse as a sport, really.
From listening to it, have you ever thought about trying like an improv night or
No, I don't think I'd ever have and that's the other thing as well. The nerve you need to do stand up.
Yeah, you need balls.
I find that, and the more I listen to it, the more. It's like the analogy is, if you watch golf on TV, you kind of think, well, fine. And then if you have one go at golf, you're like, that is amazing. What they're actually doing is it's superhuman what they're actually doing. And it's the same with comedy. The more you listen to it, and you kind of think, oh, that's just someone telling a few jokes and stuff. But when you hear the effort that they go into it, and they're quite tortured, aren't they? So I think a lot of comedians.
Are you just sort of finished listening to each podcast, sort of banging your fist on the table?
It is really it is unbelievable, really, that someone who presents themselves as this. She modelled herself on Steve Jobs, so she even sort of deepened her voice.
No,
because she thought that made her more sort of impressive. She
wear the black turtleneck.
Yeah, or the Issey Miyake. She shopped at Issey Miyake's, the black turtlenecks. Everything was very sleek. The machine itself was kind of, if you see the machine, you think that was designed by Apple.
Amazing.
So it's a triumph of style over substance.
Thanks for watching this week's episode. Please let us know in the comments below the favourite podcast that you love to listen to.
And we would be super happy if you would listen to our podcast and let us know what you think, give us any feedback. And yeah, we're really happy. It's a very special episode for us, the start of our podcast. We want to thank you for your support, and yeah, we're just really happy.
Hope you enjoy episode 1.